Hey guys, Matt from Eastwood here at my house doing a quick little project on my 34 Ford, which is a Survivor hot rod that was built in the early to mid 1960s. Now the car is sprayed on the exterior with a Corvette red paint, and the interior garnish molding, dash, header panel, and some other parts were sprayed with a 60s GM Polar White. Now some of these parts were beat up from years of being tucked away in a garage, and the dash I did some modifications and also needed some repairs. So we stripped everything down to bare metal and we want to go ahead and repaint it that same GM Polar White. So I'm going to be using 2K AeroSpray Epoxy Primer to coat everything and seal it all up, because I did take everything down to bare metal to make sure there was no other hidden repairs on these parts. Then from there I'm going to be taking the Eastwood Concourse LT to repaint the dashboard and all these parts using single stage urethane and that GM Polar White that comes pre-mixed right from our factory. So let's get started. Alright, so I let the epoxy sit overnight just to let everything get sealed up and good to go and fully cured. So now I can go over it. I have the same Durablock with a little 600 grit. And I'm going to be going over this, just knocking down any of the texture on the part and try and get the primer a little smoother. Again, we're not going crazy here with making a show finish or over restoring the car. So I'm just going to go over and knock anything major down, make sure I didn't put any huge runs in the primer or something stupid. And then we can wipe everything down and get it ready to start spraying our Polar White paint, which I'm excited about. So go over this whole thing and get it ready. Alright, see, I'm going to try and get a shot here of the texture. A real light texture with the epoxy primer, and when you come all the way over here where I'm starting to sand it, it's quite a bit smoother just with this quick run over with the 600 grit. So just knocking that light texture off the top will help big time. Let me get back into here. You can hopefully see there's a little bit of texture there. When you get out into where I sanded, it's a little nice and smooth. So that's all I'm doing, is just knocking it down real quick, not doing anything crazy, but that shows you the difference really quickly. All right, so I got my dash all mounted up, and we're here looking at how it turned out with all the fixings mounted to the dashboard and the steering column and the steering wheel all bolted up, and it looks really great. Now, I waited a couple of days before I actually assembled the dashboard and all the parts. That is because while paint will dry to the touch pretty quickly, so this paint I was able to handle the dashboard within, I don't know, 45 minutes or an hour. I with confidence picked it up, took it off the rack, put it on the table and let it sit, and it was no problem at all. Now, paint is dry to the touch, but it may not be fully cured in that short period of time unless you have a way to bake the paint. It is still curing. So if I would have put this dashboard together right away within like an hour after painting it, the paint still would have been kind of soft, and when I tightened down some of these bolts and knobs and different things like that, it would actually put indentations in the paint. So while it is exciting to try and reassemble something after you freshly paint it, I've learned from my own mistakes, don't do that, because you will find that you will put indentations or imperfections in the dash trying to do that. So I let it sit for like 2 days, then I assembled the dash. Everything was nice and hard, and I didn't have any issues with the paint chipping super easy or denting or anything like that, so it worked really well. So in the end, the LT100 white paint and a small project like this, like a dashboard, is great for a beginner entry-level painter like myself. I definitely have more experience with welding and fabrication, and painting is something that I just dabble in, and I've been trying to do more projects. So that's why I chose to pick up the paint gun and spray some single-stage urethane on this project, because I wanted to get some more gun time under my belt so that I can get the confidence and experience to someday hopefully paint a whole entire car from start to finish myself without having some of my friends that are much better at painting than me help me along the way. So that was my project. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you want to learn about all the products that I used in this video, you can click the link down below, or you can visit eastwood.com to get all the tools you need to do the job right. Thanks guys. Catch you later.